Maria back with another video. It's like 6:22 a.m. Tuesday morning. I believe it's April 8th. Time is going by so fast. No, it's not April 8th. It's May 8th, which is even worse. Yeah, so anyway, it's been a while since I made a video. I think the last time I made a video was sometime maybe this weekend or whatever. I missed a few days. Really didn't have much to talk about or report or say or anything. The last few days I've just been kind of very tired, just emotionally drained over all of these events and exhausted, you know? Yeah, that's a great word, exhausted. I've been just literally my brain is numb from all of the events that have taken place. And, you know, every day I ask myself, how is it that people could do something like this? How is it that people could be so intrusive and so aggressive in their need to control the lives of other people? It baffles me, you know, because there's nothing in my personality that would want to do something like that. So it's difficult for me, from my perspective, you know, because I'm somebody who respects the rights of other people, to understand that sort of weird way of living, you know, control freaks, you know. As I mentioned before, you know, I've made a decision to cut everyone out of my life. I did send a letter to Joel letting him know, you know, I'm going no contact, and I did tell him that I was disconnecting his telephone line. Seeing as how, you know, I was basically paying for it, you know, as an exchange to keep my stuff in the storage in the garage. But I had removed my stuff out of storage for quite a while. I think either a month or two ago. You know, I'm losing track of time here because seriously, at this point, every day literally seems the same. It does. So it's like, was it a month ago? Was it 2 months ago? Whatever the case is, you know, it was a day that I went over there when my son was at the house, and I just grabbed my stuff and took it in the truck and put it in my storage. So I think it was sometime when I got my storage unit. So maybe it was even longer than that. Maybe it was even 3 months. That's how bad it's becoming, you know. But anyway, I decided, you know, it's time to just go ahead and sever ties. And I told him, you know, I'm going no contact with anyone. I don't want to talk to anybody from his family or my family or whatever. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I was thinking about how, you know, I believe that Karen Johnson was kind of trailing me from that time period that I had left her place of employment, which, you know, the explosive issues that occurred over there were because of what she allowed to happen at that company. You know, I had started there and everything was fine. And then, you know, just one day out of the blue, it all started getting very strange. I think around, started getting weird like around December. Okay, because I started there, I think it was, I want to say I started there in September. You know, like I said, I have to go back and check my paperwork, but I believe it was September. I started there in September, and then I do remember coming back to Bakersfield. I think I had a Christmas dinner with Joel and his mom that Christmas. I could have sworn I saw them for whatever reason. I don't know why. But, and then after that, things started getting really weird, very weird. And my reason for seeing him wasn't to get back with him. I think, you know, I've always tried to be civil and be, you know, some people when they want to separate or whatever, they try to be, what do you call it? At least stay friends and still be, you know, have a decent friendship, you know, left behind. But anyway, some people can't take that, or they can't understand that, and they think, well, you know, maybe we're getting it back together or whatever. I don't know what the case was, but it seems like, and it maybe had nothing to do with him. Maybe it was all my family or his family who was causing the mobbings. I'm suspecting that it was both of these people. But anyway, slowly but surely, it's like people started getting very strange and weird and bullying. Lots and lots of bullying was going on. And I basically I realized something was going on, and I just shut down. I mean, You can't expect people to do anything positive when you are being mobbed at work. It is impossible to survive a mobbing. Impossible, okay? It is not something that you can negotiate. It is not something that you can change. You could do everything nice. You could be nice to the people, but they will only use it as a way to damage you further. So it's a very, it's a damning situation, basically. So, this went on for quite a long time. I got there in 2007. By 2009, I was like, you know what, I can't take this anymore. So I decided to leave the company, and because I knew it was becoming a nightmare. I mean, literally every Sunday, I was basically close to tears because I knew that I was going to have to go back to that horrible job. So, and it was beyond something that I could control, because obviously the owner, Karen, was allowing it to happen. As a matter of fact, she was bullying me herself. So I decided to leave. I was living in the Antelope Valley at the time. I was commuting back and forth to work. So I decided, you know what, and the Antelope Valley, I don't know if you're familiar with the Antelope Valley, but it's never been a place where I consider to be rich in employment opportunities. It's always been very Stacy in that way. Like, unless of course you worked for aerospace industry, or you worked in education, like you were a teacher or something like that. Employment was just kind of weird, and it never really advertised jobs or anything like that. So then I came back to Bakersfield, and like I said, the reason that I came back to Bakersfield was not to get back together with Joel. It was to I came for the cost of living, which is why a lot of people flock to Bakersfield. Bakersfield is a good place to, live because of the cost of living. And so, I moved back here, and, Joel wanted to constantly come over. And so, I was like, okay. And then, he was saying, oh, I changed, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, fast forward, got a job over at Murray Family Farms. And everything was going great, I really loved the job at first. I was really happy to be there. The workload was something that I found challenging. It was very enjoyable at first. And, I kept thinking, okay, this is great. And I was doing a lot of great things. I really enjoyed my job. And then the Christmas party rolled around. I got there in 2009, October 2009. And then the Christmas party. The first Christmas party of 2009, I went by myself. The second Christmas party of 2010, right after the Christmas party of 2010, Joel came with me to a Christmas party, and it was right there at that point, things started getting very strange, very, very strange. And I don't know, I don't know what the deal was. Maybe it was because, I was thinking a few days ago that maybe because I seriously think his mom was the cause of it. I think his mom had some sort of jealousy issue with me. I know that Joel mentioned that his mom was upset because, he decided to move back in with me. And she was basically saying, well, it'll never work, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm assuming, now that I realize that him and his mom had some sort of weird relationship, I think she was attacking me out of jealousy, At that time, I had no idea that they were like that. I really didn't. I had no idea. But as years went by, I finally kind of figured it out. But I think that had something to do with it, whatever the case is. So, yeah, I've been going through a lot. This has been going on for years and years and years and years. And like I said, I had no intentions of getting back together with Joel when I first moved back here. It was because, like I said, it was the cost of living. And I did like Bakersfield for certain reasons. It's a very simple town. The little streets are easy. It's easy to get around. don't get me wrong, I mean, I don't know Bakersfield like the back of my hand, I don't, okay? But the little areas that I do go to, it becomes familiar quite easily. And like I said, it never had a big, I don't know. Like comparing Bakersfield to the Allen Valley, I would say that there's no comparison. I mean, I would say Bakersfield is far richer, it seems, as far as, a way of living than the Allen Valley. So, no, it wasn't like that. So anyway, I think his family had a lot of preconceived ideas about me. I didn't really have any preconceived ideas about them, other than I knew that they were kind of rude when I got around them, and I just figured, well, whatever, and I left them alone. I never, wanted to pursue anything other than hi and bye, and that was in a situation if I had to. I didn't really know them very well, but obviously, they felt as though they had some sort of right over me when they don't. Anyway, very strange situation, and, I do regret having anything to do with Joel. I really do. I regret it because I realize, how strange, that kind of family setup is. Very strange indeed. I don't know, it's funny because, to them, their life is normal. That's just normal for them. For me, it's like the strangest thing in the world, because it goes against everything that I perceive to be as a normal functioning family. Mind you, my family's not very normal either. I mean, most families aren't, but some families are far more dysfunctional than others. I want to get off the subject of them, but really today I wanted to make a video about preconceived ideas, and I think a lot of people had preconceived ideas about me. Maybe they thought that, because I don't know, but I'm throwing this one out there. Maybe they thought that, because, some people are very strange, and they don't think about, things that are morally wrong or whatever. Maybe people recognize Joel and Polly as a couple. Maybe they did. Maybe they recognized Joel and Polly as a couple, even though that kind of relationship is very strange and odd. Maybe they recognized Joel and Polly as a couple, and they looked at me as somebody who was breaking them up. Maybe. I mean, that thought rolled through my mind this weekend. I kept thinking, well, maybe that's what it was. Maybe they thought, maybe Polly was angry because, she wanted Joel as a lover. Ugh, cringe. And she felt as though, I was, what do you call it? In the way of that. And because there's a lot of ignorance, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of ignorance in this community. They looked upon that as normal, and they thought that I was somehow, what do you call it? A homewrecker or something. I don't know. I'm not sure if Joel and his mom are legally married, but I keep getting something in my mind that makes me think that maybe they might be. Maybe. I don't know. And that's very strange, but I don't know why I keep thinking that. Or maybe people recognize them as a legitimate couple. I don't know. You know what I mean? I think there's more people, like I said in one of my earlier videos, in this town, because people know each other in this town, okay? And because I'm the kind of person who just goes to work and come home, I don't know, the hot talk in the community as everyone else does, because I don't pay attention to that, And so maybe people know that family more than I do, and maybe there's some sort of validity to my assumptions, that people thought of Joel and Polly as a couple, and they looked at me as like a homewrecker, which is kind of weird, but I mean, this whole thing to me is bizarre, okay? But as bizarre as it is, a lot of people get involved in shit like this all the time. And, you just never think that you're somebody who's going to get sucked up in something like this. Well, if that's the case, Polly can have Joel, which is, I'm just like rolling my eyes and thinking about how bizarre that whole thing is. That's bizarre. Very bizarre, I had no idea. None whatsoever. I didn't start coming to that realization till very later in my in this journey of realizing I was being gang stalked and everything that was going on. I knew that Joel lived with his mom. I never thought anything of it, really. I just thought, well, sometimes people don't have, financial resources to live on their own. And some people live with their parents, it's something I don't like the idea of, but a lot of people do, you know what I mean? And I didn't think it was anything more than that. But the more you look back, it's like, well, there are certain things that were said, and you don't think about it at the time, but you start putting things together. And I will say, not just in regarding Joel and his mom, I've been putting a lot of things together. Just people that I met randomly, people that I would, come in contact with that wanted to be friends almost instantly. I mean, these are the things that I started thinking about a lot this weekend. Like, just yesterday, too, I was thinking about it on my way home. And when you are somebody who doesn't have a lot of activity during the day, and you have a lot of time on your hands to think about stuff, you start backtracking. You start thinking, wait, what about this particular person? And how are they associated? And then you start realizing that this whole thing is a part of all of it. Like, the reason why these people want to be friends with you so quickly is because these people are agents. Not agents like, federal agents, but they're like agents, like a part of this network where these people are associated with these other people who want to get to know you so they could get closer, like keeping the enemy close type thing. It's very strange, So it's like you have to decide, make a decision. You got to purge people out of your life. You got to purge them out because you don't want their influence anymore. You want them out of your life, for good. So anyway, I meant to make a video about preconceived ideas, and the only thing, but I think it does fall into this category because the preconceived ideas that people had about me were absolutely wrong. Really, gossip can get out of hand. It really can. It can get way, way out of hand. And, people like to believe stuff like that. I think it's because it keeps the social fiber together. Like, if people don't have a scapegoat or somebody to attack, they don't really have anything to talk about, because a lot of people are very shallow, okay? They don't know how to develop real relationships based on, maybe shared hobbies or interests or anything like that. All they know is that they can get around and gossip and tear someone down. And when they find out the gossip isn't true, they still want to believe it. They want to, because, it becomes a big issue or a big part of their life, sadly. But that's not the kind of people I want to be around. You know what I mean? I look for a better kind of quality in a relationship and a friendship. Friendships, relationships, to me, they're all the same. And I think the approach should be the same. Like, there's nothing wrong with, I guess, I call it dating a friend, meaning not like it's a romantic date, but like let's just say, for example, you meet a woman at the store and you start talking and you think, okay, you know what? I'd like to spend time with this woman because I want to develop a friendship with her. And so you make a concerted effort and you decide, you know what? I want this person to get to know this person because this person could be a friend. I think that it should be very similar to like dating, except of course it's platonic, mind you. But you want to invite that person over. You want to spend time with them, get to know their family and those sort of things, and get to know about their background, so that you can develop a better relationship with that person. And it should be a very slow process, of talking and getting to know each other. I would say the approach that a lot of the perks took with me, it was like these people were instantly wanting to be friends, and it was a little strange for me, it's like, something's not quite right here. Anyway, I'm going to try to follow up with a better, more constructive video that's more targeted towards talking about preconceived ideas. And mostly the preconceived ideas I was going to talk about was relating to women's issues, some racial issues as well, but I think, anyway, preconceived ideas is what fuels this program. Gossip and then preconceived ideas. And there's no reason for people to have any preconceived ideas about me, especially since I would say, even though there was a lot of flaws in this particular gang stalking organization, they did have it covered enough to see and monitor my daily routine. So they can obviously see that there's nothing to it. Like, I was always coming home, going to work. I would go for a walk when I lived over in the other neighborhood. Ooh, something smells like a skunk. I'm driving out in a rural area, so yeah, something smells very skunky. Ugh. It's coming through the window. It's disgusting. Anyway, they know. They can monitor your actions. They can see that there's nothing going on. But yet still, this program lasts for a very, very long time. And you wonder, okay, when you start looking back, it's like, well, what are you trying? There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to do. Obviously, you want to see something, or you want to believe something that's not true, and it might have disappointed some of these people. Anyway, I was also thinking about targeted individuals here in the Bakersfield area, which I'm sure there's plenty, because I know Bakersfield is a hot spot for human trafficking and that sort of stuff. So if you are in the Bakersfield area, go ahead and drop me a message in the comment section so that we can talk. It would be great to know some other targets in this area. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm almost close to my destination. And today I'm taking it easy. I mean, I'm trying not to get mentally exhausted. The mental exhaustion comes from the overthinking and going back and backtracking. And I will say that when you start backtracking, every situation that you're in is controlled, meaning it's all like a part of their little program. You know what I mean? So you start thinking about how you're almost living like something relating to the Truman Show. It's very, very strange. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. I will be back on another video. Maybe I'll do a video on my way home, or when I'm relaxed in, kicking back in my house later on today. But I will be back with another one. Have a wonderful day, Bakersfield. Bye.